Good morning guys from Morocco. If you haven't watched our previous videos, we're currently on a 17-day road trip with G Adventures across this amazing country. We actually left the Sahara and embarked on a 7-hour journey. Made it to Ait Ben Haddou, which is where we spent the night. We have made it to Ait Ben Haddou, which has become pretty famous because it has appeared in a few films. There is a Casbah inside, there's a huge viewpoint up to the top, which we will be going to, but this looks pretty incredible.
To get across to the Sar, we are literally crossing the dry riverbed. In the winter, it'll be flowing through and you have to use the bridge a little bit further down, but right in front of us here is actually a fake bit of the civilization. This was actually used as the gate in Game of Thrones. Never watched Game of Thrones, so doesn't really mean much to me, but I mean, looking at that and then looking at the real thing, they did a pretty good job.
We haven't even entered properly and we've already spotted something so cool. So this guy here had this painting, he put it on top of the fire and it just like magically appeared.
He first goes over it with a wet paintbrush,
yeah,
and he draws the image and then it burns on.
It was like magic though, wasn't
cool
it?
photos. We need to get one.
Yeah, which one should we get?
The one he's just made.
This one?
It's fresh. I can still... Is it hot?
No, it's not hot and it doesn't smell of
bad. Sniff it. Thank you, shukran.
You're
welcome. Seems bad. I haven't watched the film that was filmed here. You wouldn't think a film was filmed here, it's just like a hole of mud. But this is actually the arena that they filmed Gladiator in again. Like Game of Thrones, if you've watched it, amazing. I haven't watched it, so it was here, but it's now some mud.
We've eaten so many tagines, so it's only right that we get taught how to make them. I've got my onions, olive oil, and all of those spices, and my very own tagine pot.
This is a very rare occasion. Molly has got me into the kitchen. I have no idea what I'm doing, so I've watched the demonstration and now I'm basically copying Molly's. We're adding our vegetables to the spices and you have to do it in a very aesthetically pleasing way to make it like a mountain, which doesn't seem...
Look at your little face, you're concentrating.
And everyone else is really good. Mine looks terrible. Yours actually looks really good.
I think mine is the best of the class.
And I've added things that we weren't meant to do. So the demonstrator, the teacher, basically said not to add seasoning on top. I wouldn't add seasoning on top, but I think I'm onto something.
They add in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes they will add water.
What does the winner get?
The winner?
Yeah.
Self-satisfaction.
Self-satisfaction.
Yes. Satisfaction.
Your seal of approval means the world to me. So
yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go.
Wow, does it look good?
Yes, very beautiful.
10 out of 10.
2, 1.
It's not even a pyramid, it's as flat as it gets.
This morning we're up and we're crossing the Tishki Pass high up in the Atlas Mountains. Pretty incredible views. The drive is insane and we're actually driving to a village where we're going to be spending the night. So it's all go, 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 and it's amazing to see this country with our local guide and really get a feel for what Morocco is all about.
We have made it to the village of Imlil after a 3-hour drive through some of the highest roads in all of North Africa. Our bags have been left in the van. All we have is this on our back, and there are some mules taking some extras for some of the other guys who've already set off on the hike. We can actually see the very peak of the high Atlas Mountains, and the village that we're staying in is just below them. This is going to be fun. We're saying goodbye to the last bit of civilization. Goodbye to all of our home comforts. The van has left us. Have we made a mistake?
I don't know. Maybe I've made a mistake. I definitely haven't been in my fittest, especially after eating lots of Moroccan bread and tagines. But should only be an hour.
That's what I'm telling myself. Considering we're going somewhere up here, like we can literally see the peak of North Africa right now.
Oh.
You know you're getting rural when it says to not park your mule here and not your car. It's a 300 fine if you attach your donkey, your horse to this tree. The village of Ibil is basically your last stop to get anything you need for the villages that make up the high Atlas Mountains. And as you're coming up, you actually pass through more villages. I think there's 7, and Ibil is the sort of the centre one, the touristy one, where you can get your water or your food for your hike up to your local village and guest house. You can tell you're getting rural the higher up you get. There's basically a natural, thank you, shukran, man-made pizza oven in the middle of the mountains. I mean, only in Morocco.
Definitely can't get lost. There's a sign that says villages that way, and behind us you can see the villages, but I don't know if you can tell, I'm slightly out of breath and I'm sweating.
Once you leave the comfort of the village below and the canopy, you start to appreciate how amazing the views here are in the high Atlas Mountains. You can actually opt and do the hike to Sooooo, the second highest peak in all of Africa after only Kilimanjaro, which I think takes 2 to 3 days. So I'm pretty happy that we're doing the 1 to 2 hour hike to our village to appreciate the views of the peak. If you think once you're at the peak, you don't get to appreciate the views of the peak, you're only looking down. It is definitely not the easiest in 40-degree heat, and if you come in the winter you're going to be blessed with the snow-capped peaks of the high Atlas Mountains, but we're getting closer. Just over there is the tiny little village perched on the edge of these monstrous cliffs that we're going to be spending the night at. It says on the G Adventures itinerary that this is your highlight of your time in Morocco, and I can definitely see why. It is somewhat rewarding knowing that you hiked and stayed in a local village yourself rather than taking a bus to a town, staying in a nice hotel with a nice view. It's not quite the same.
Oh, I feel so close, but still a little bit further away. You can see it behind me. It's so beautiful. I mean, it's actually mine and Matt's first time ever walking or hiking to our own accommodation. So, as Matt said, this is going to be rewarding.
We're getting closer. You got the men of the village hard at work. I don't know how they do it in this heat on the edge of a mountain, building probably a new home or guest house. You can see the canopy at the bottom with the river flowing through, probably where they get the water source. And there it is, our village. We're probably, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes away, and in the distance the peaks of Sooooo are now starting to show its face.
I believe we're currently crossing the bridge to the glacier water, which, as Matt said, we think is the water source for the village. But wow, I can't believe that people actually live here. Over 2,000 people live in this village and do this walk all the time, really putting us to shame. But it is just, it's crazy. The views around it are unbelievable. Wow, look, I'd have you, not him, look at that.
It's definitely better than me, isn't it?
It is.
Can you imagine waking up to this every day? We're now on the outskirts of the village, and you can see the peaks in the horizon. We definitely picked the right hike.
Yeah, hiking, I don't want to be up there.
Hiking to the village. I think it takes 2 days. 2 days up, 1 day straight down. Next time Morocco.
Maybe.
This This is perfect. This is everything I expected of the village and more. Chickens on the walls, donkeys in people's back gardens, little wooden roofs, mud houses. 2-hour hike to civilization. I don't know how they do it.
I think we're almost there. The little streets are amazing, and there's all sort of noises coming from the gardens or the terraces. I don't even know where from. I've never seen a village like this. No, it's pretty remarkable. I still can't believe that they walk up and down. And I'm sweating, look at me. We've made friends with the donkey. Hi! Making its way down, faster than us.
Is this your donkey?
No, donkey.
Does it have a name?
That's a
no?
name, no.
I'll call it donkey. We've made it.
Cheers. So we have made it to our gite, our traditional family home here in the village, and we've been greeted with some traditional Moroccan mint tea. They call it Berber whiskey. I got excited for a minute. They were saying, oh, Berber whiskey, Berber whiskey. I've come running from the room.
It definitely doesn't cool you down.
It's a different one. It's a little bit weaker, but we have to show you around where we're staying. We have some shared rooms, views of the garden, which they have their horse, their chickens.
They're just running around.
This is crazy.
This is like a TARDIS. There's so many rooms, the local family home. I don't even know what it's made out of, but there's a lot to explore. So we have like two little seating areas here, very social.
All having their dinner here. There's actually 10 that make up this family.
Oh my god, so there's going to be a lot of space. And then you come through, we have yet another area here. We have shower and toilets down here. We have bedroom, bunk beds. They remind me of like a ski lodge, which is super cute. We have a bedroom all the way in here. And it's all like wooden and super cute. And then, it's too big, I'm gonna be running around.
A balcony.
We have another social area, yet another bathroom, and our balcony, which, as Matt said earlier, looks down over to the gardens, and you can see the sun starting to go down. It's such a lovely little house.
So the plan is to explore the village of Aremd, head actually to the top. We've heard the views at the top of the village are the best, and then come back and have a dinner in the family home. I mean, I feel like the food is going to be the best because it is literally, we are literally staying on the farm in the village and it's going straight to the table. So I'm expecting big things.
There's even a small little village shop as we come up. What do you fancy? Anything particular?
What do they do? Salam alaikum.
Hello. Can I have a big Sprite, please? Sprite, big Sprite. Yeah, thank you.
Shukran.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries, thank you.
It's okay, shukran. Thank you. Even in one of the most isolated villages in the world, you can find your home comforts, you can find your Sprite, you can find your Coca-Cola, but make sure you appreciate them. That's a 2-hour hike down and a 2-hour hike up just to have that Sprite. That was the village's Costco, the village's Tesco, but we have now hiked out of the village to one of the smaller summits of the Atlas Mountains, and the terrain here, this is crazy, Molly.
So different, isn't it?
It's like loads of small boulders connected together that lead down into the valley below, and we actually found out that the horses, the mules that are used to carry people's luggage up here, are actually set free of an evening. There's 2 down below us, and they go out for a wander like you do of an evening to watch the sunset, have a drink out of the creek, and they run competitions, and whoever has the best kept mule at the end of the year wins a prize. It's a pretty cool incentive. I feel like this is the perfect spot. Just sit here, watch the sunset over the top of the village. I really regret not bringing our beer now. We have 2 beers in the fridge that made it all the way up the hike, but I left it in the room. So Sprite will have to do.
Good morning from Aremd in Morocco. Last night after the viewpoint we went down and had our lovely farm to table dinner. When you're walking around you can obviously see the vegetables, you can see the animals, so you know it is a proper traditional, authentic, fresh, dinner, and it was really, really nice. We slept in our little gîte, our guest house, and woken up to the mountains and the sheep barring. Now we have to hike back down.
We're taking the harder route down, which is actually a little bit quicker and accesses the waterfall that we didn't see yesterday. But what an experience staying in a village like this. I mean, life can't be easy for the locals. I think kids have to sometimes do a 2-hour hike down to school and a 2-hour hike up. You think anything you need has to be hiked up here, and until recently there wasn't even a school down in the village below. They had to do like a 17-kilometer drive at the bottom, so we got to appreciate that this 1-hour hike down is nothing. This is probably the water that I was drinking in my coffee this morning, the main water source for many of the villages in the area. The glacier water running down from the high Atlas Mountains, forming these waterfalls. It's actually really well set up. There's loads of little cafes, restaurants. Later in the day this will be packed. Everyone comes for a day trip from Marrakesh to get out of that crazy heat.
It's a really cool setup when you come down to the bottom. You have all of the like bamboo little shacks to sit on. I love you, Morocco. Welcome to Morocco.
Surely they don't cook the tagine on there?
I don't know, I'd like to try it.
I am from Imlil village. The Imlil village is it's the starting point to the high Atlas mountain. So the life here, what I like in this village is that the life is simple. So we are like a family, like 5,000 in the valley, and we know each other. So this is like, as I said, the source of living for us. I mean, because as a local, the only source of living is tourism. So yeah, we like our village. So and we want that more tourists, more people like come to the village.
Back to civilization. The purple van has never looked so good.
Good morning from the rooftops of the sleepy surfing village of Tagazu. You look very nice with yellow. Show-offs.
Cheers.